This Lion fan base have been craving home playoff football since this building opened in 2002, and they've got it today at Ford Field in Detroit. Coming up, an important divisional round matchup in the C between the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. One of two spots in the NFC title game awaits the winner here as we're underway in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And he opts to... bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Brian Burns able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time. A lot of ground to cover. 2nd and 22. On the option to give to Swift here. And he'll be taken down at the 18. Give him 5 yards on the run there, but it'll leave him with a definite 3rd and long on the horizon. They'll set up to throw. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. They'll get 8, but they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive because that's not enough. So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. Fielded at the 20. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
They go play action. Mayfield. And his throw is incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about, and you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Mayfield looks to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Here's the Panthers punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Lions will take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
That's his longest run of the first quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complementary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
On 2nd down, Swift. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him. I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. On the handoff, this is Swift.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
They'll run right here with Swift. He's got the first down inside the 10, and he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. DeAndre Swift. 25 yards to the house. And the Lions are on the board first here in this division round matchup. Now the Lions will line up to go for 2. They'll try to run with Swift. And he will get into the end zone again. And he seems to have a nose for it as he gets both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Returnable here for Davis. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They trail here early in this division round game as they seek a spot in the NFC title bout. First down, Mayfield. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Throw left side. McCaffrey's got it. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. One quarter down, 8-0 the score. Coming up on a 2nd and 6. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural deal based on reads. In college, if you're going to throw the football off a triple option, you've actually called that play.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Mayfield. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Kenneth Murray just creating a disaster there for the offense as that one goes 16 yards in the wrong direction. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Taylor going to take this himself. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. He'll get a couple of yards on the keeper, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And they get on the board, trailing now 8-3. So the margin shrinks there as they get the field goal to draw them a bit closer here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, nice snap, nice hole. They just want to keep this game close, so give them credit for finishing that one off with 3.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior. Big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. Now a give right side Swift. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They're going to go with a tight end here on the running play. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Right back to Swift again on 2nd down. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. The Lions on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They give it off here to the tight end. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. They'll try and throw for it here. Going for the deep ball. And that is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. This is McCaffrey on the give. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. Second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
A first red zone opportunity for the Panthers thus far. They have a 1st and 10 at the 8. Touchdown! That's caught. Denzel Mims. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Panthers have taken the lead. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. Mayfield knocks this forward. It's a jet sweep. And he will not make it to the goal line here. So they'll be unable to bump this lead up to a field goal as it remains a 1-point game. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4th, turned it over in their own territory. But the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down.
No, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36, and he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Panther touchdown. Slide for the PAT. And with that, the lead is up to 8.
Makes the score Panthers 16, Lions 8. Joey Sly to kick off for
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Jeremy Chinn picks it off. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Mayfield escaping the pressure right. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Mayfield to throw it. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. This will be a 37-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will bump the lead up to 11. I got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And with only 9 seconds remaining, not much time, we'll see how they play this. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. On the option to give to Swift here. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC Divisional Round matchup. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, a trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And they're in the position they expected to be in. They've got the lead, home crowd behind them, and they're looking toward making that next step in these playoffs.
And I think a key for them is to put together some good, long, extended drives. Work the run in a little more with that big offensive line. I'm not saying get away from throwing the football. That's still working. But if they run it more effectively, they may get even bigger plays in the passing game.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Here's Mayfield. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. So good coverage there defensively as it looks like they'll force a punt on this opening drive of the 3rd.
Well, let's coach them up a little bit from right here in the booth. That's exactly what they needed to do. They need to start stringing together some stops, turning the ball over back to their offense, and trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, a couple scores down, but they can eat into that quickly with a nice drive here on the other side. And just a 30-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for the second half.
A big play that time through the air. 30 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's a handoff to Swift. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Right back to Swift again on 2nd down. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. On 3rd down, here comes Swift. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. And Crosby puts it through, and that'll make this an 8-point game. So 3 points, maybe not a grand prize at this stage, but it does get them back within 1 score.
It certainly does, because now they stay within shouting distance, so that means everyone on your sideline stays engaged in this game. They know they still have a shot.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 2nd and 10 here as we sit in the 3rd quarter of this divisional round matchup. Mayfield now. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
McCaffrey on the counter, and he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Second and 11 now. Throwing, Mayfield. That's to McCaffrey, complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play.
But they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. One quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. 2nd and 8. They're going to look to throw. And that's complete. It's the tight end Daniels. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
48 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand they're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back. I think there's a fatigue factor that's kicking in defensively. You know the will is still strong, but I think the offense is starting to bend it just a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looked that way. We'll see if they can continue this already strong drive. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Off the option, here's McCaffrey. A nice display of power, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Able to stay in bounds, and the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. 2nd, 3rd guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
Now Mayfield on 3rd and goal. Eluding the pressure right toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And his kick here is good. And that will bump the lead up to 11. So that's, CD, an important one here in the 4th quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And this could be the defining moment of their season, all hyperbole aside. You're trailing here in the 4th quarter, the divisional round. They need to come up with something as they get this drive started. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Back to throw. Oh, what a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. They'll try and set up the screen to Swift. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It'll be a loss of 6 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. This one caught. It's the tight end Hawkinson. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 31-yard line. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 18. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll just get rid of it.
Now the question is obvious. Do you try to kick the field goal right here knowing that you need 2 scores? I would be thinking about it if I were on that sideline. Get the field goal now, try and get the touchdown later.
The kick by Crosby is good, and that'll make this an 8-point game. So you knew one way or another that they needed the 2 scores. They get the easy one out of the way. Now they'll get the ball back, hopefully.
Yeah, and the question is, how do you accomplish that? Do you onside kick it? Or since you have all 3 timeouts, do you kick it deep? To me, I'm playing field position. With all 3 timeouts, I kick it deep and try and pin them back there.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively. So they take it at right down Broadway. The 30. 10. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, 75 yards. And the Panthers are moving closer to a date now in the NFC Championship game as they're able to extend this 4th quarter lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good, and the lead is up to 15 now. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
It's a gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and 13.
He'll drop to throw. He'll find Swift out of the backfield. Oh, and he'll wind up losing yardage on the play. You cannot have that. And also, 4th down now. The Panthers season will press on as we say so long, everybody. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Detroit.